Hello, Arizona, and welcome to this episode of Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Jason Bates, the lender who lives in and is a part of your community. If you would like to reach out to the show, then I would love to hear from you. And you can do so by visiting my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. And from there, you can connect with me on any social media platform, even email me, even call me directly. So whatever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable hearing from you. So please reach out to me. Love to hear from you. And if you're listening to me on iTunes, please write a review of this podcast. That is, as it is one of the ways that I use to help improve the show. So I really appreciate if you could take the time to write a review there for me. Now, on this episode, I'm once again joined by Tracey Swift of Coldwell Banker. Hello, Tracey. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Jason?
Awesome on a Saturday morning here. So I really appreciate taking time out of your day to speak about this topic. I think this is an important topic. I think it's one that a lot of people, I know I wasn't aware of it when it first came out, or not first came out, but when you brought it to my attention. And that is just about the SEER rating and the changes to the SEER rating that are taking place this year.
Absolutely. Actually, there's two things going on right now that are really big with respects to the SEER rating, which relates to heating and cooling, as well as the energy efficiency of the product, of its, the heat pump or the air conditioner, and also changes as well to the energy efficiencies of the hot water heater. So we kind of have two different laws kind of going into effect within the past 4 months. So as of, we'll just start off with the water heater one.
Hang on one second though for me real quick. Tell everybody, how to get in contact with you, where can we reach you? Because you're a great realtor and I want everybody to reach out to you if they're looking to purchase a home. So let her know how we can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. You can always call me. I always have my phone, 480-599-7746. And I can be reached at Tracey, Tracey .swift, SWIFT at azmoves. That's AZ like Arizona moves plural.com. And you can find me on Facebook. I'm under Phoenix Fun, capital P, capital H, capital X. Fun is my community page. And my Twitter handle is swiftly said 38. And I have my own personal website, tracy.swift at CB in touch. So it's C like cat, B like boy, CB in touch, all one word, .com. So you can find me either any of those sites or at my phone number.
Awesome. And please reach out to her. She really knows her stuff when it comes to real estate. So she is a good person to have on your team for sure. Okay, so before we get into, you mentioned like the AC and the hot water heater. Explain, what is SEER? What is that?
Okay. Well, it is the seasonal energy efficiency ratio, and it basically is a measurement of the energy efficiency of the unit itself. And this is tested by, engineers, and they kind of check how efficient the unit is over the cooling season. So in this case, we're going to talk about air conditioners because we hardly use heat here. So, but it basically is measuring the energy output, and the more efficient it is, obviously, the less energy you use. So that's basically what a SEER rating is. It's an energy efficiency ratio, and it's tested in labs. And then there's a number assigned to the actual air conditioner unit as to what the SEER rating is, 13, 14, etc.
Awesome. Okay, so now we've had you've brought to my attention, we've got some changes that have taken place, right? It looks like April or something like that these changes are implemented, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like the government coming in saying all cars have to meet a certain minimum miles per gallon standard, right? This is kind of what this is.
Pretty much. I mean, it's again, it's a national situation. When it comes to air conditioner units, it tends to be more geographical because obviously in the Southwest, we have a higher use of air conditioning. So we need a higher SEER rating on our air conditioners here.
Right.
But overall, the whole country is involved in it. So it's not just a state regulatory, it's a national law. And it is very similar to what you said about having miles per gallon. And it's just really there to reduce the strain on the grid and to be more energy efficient.
Okay. All right, cool. So now with these changes, these are all for like if you were to buy a new home, for example, since it's after April 2015, we're now in August 1st, 2015. We can assume, or you can assume as a consumer, that these new ratings will be part of the appliances or the AC units that are in the home, right? On a new home.
I mean, we would expect that to be true. It depends when they started building the home. If they did it before, they could
Gotcha.
probably get away with it because there is existing inventory and it is allowed to be sold until it's no longer available. But my hopes would be, and in talking with many of the home builders here in Arizona, most of them are touting that they have the new energy efficient air conditioners and water heaters. So definitely if you're buying from a new build, definitely ask those questions. And obviously, if I was your realtor there, I'd be asking that question and saying, what kind of systems are you putting in there? Because when you're buying a new home, you don't want to start off with an air conditioner that's already outdated.
Right.
I think the builders are kind of ahead of the curve. They're usually the ones who know about these regulations before the general public. So yes, I would say in general, they should be built with the new standards, but I still double check because not everyone's honest about stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. No, and that's good to know. I didn't even realize that if you started building a home, you could still be subject to some of those old appliances. So it's good to that's good information. That's great. Okay, so now with that being said, now what about like existing homes? Is it possible? And I'm just going to throw this out there. Is it possible if I were a buyer purchasing a home to ask for a new AC unit, even though it's not to today's standard? I mean, is that a bad thing? Good thing? Is that a? It's very competitive here, right? I mean,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think anybody's going to have a lot of luck in getting a brand new air conditioning unit on a home, especially in this current market. But here's what I would recommend: when you're getting your home inspected and you're a buyer, you are going to want to talk to your inspector and say, this air conditioning unit, this hot water heater, what do you see the life expectancy? Now they're going to give a general range of the age, the size of the unit, but they would be able to tell you what the rating is on that air conditioning unit or the hot water heater. Now, obviously, if the homeowner put it in 2 years ago and it's working fine, most air conditioners can last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. So
right.
is it really going to impact you as the new buyer? Not in the immediate future. Now, if you're buying a home that has a 25-year-old air conditioning system like mine does, yeah, I think I would adjust my bid accordingly, and kind of maybe do a little bit more research. Talk to when you ask your agent, have your agent call the homeowner even before submitting the bid and saying, how old is the AC? Can you give me that information? Because you really want to know if I'm going to be out this, especially if you have two AC units on your home. It's going to be very expensive. Now, we can't expect the buyer to put it in because all it has to do is be in working order. But at the same point, you'd want to know that information. So when you bid accordingly, knowing I need a new AC and it's going to cost me $20,000,
Well,
again.
it's a good point because it's hard, right? As a buyer, if I'm
Mhm.
buying a house and that home inspector says, "Hey, that AC unit's probably got another 2-3 years left,"
Mhm.
that's a tough position to be in because, as you just said, it works, it's functional.
Mhm.
And for the seller, if I'm the seller, I'm like, "Hey, that's your problem. You want the house or do you not want the house?" Especially in today's market, right? I mean, today, August 2015, it's very competitive. We're seeing multiple offers on homes. Low inventory, many buyers out there again, and so prices are starting to increase. So, as a seller, hey, I'm not replacing because again, like you said, it's expensive, and with these new SEER ratings, it's even more expensive, I would imagine.
Yes.
And so, man, it's a tough position to be in, right?
Yeah, it's a bit tough, and I would say to, the average buyer or seller, if I own a home right now and my air conditioner is working, like for example, if I put my home on the market, I know I'm going to get questioned about my air conditioning being really old at end of life. But
Right.
I'm certainly going to price my house accordingly, because I am a realtor. I would hopefully know how to price my own home, so I would discount it for that. Now I'm being fair. Not everyone sees it the same way. People will say, you know what, I don't, like you said, I don't care, not my problem. You want the house. That's the way it is.
Right.
So, it really depends, on the market and what's important to you. I mean, for me, I would love to have a more energy efficient air conditioner. And obviously, when mine go, I'm certainly going to go for a much better system. But yeah, in today's market, it's a little bit tough. And again, it depends on the market segment. Anything under like 350 is like going super crazy. But, on the higher end homes, there's an expectation, in the luxury market to have something that's top notch.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I agree with you. I mean, and it's kind of weird because I've talked to some AC companies. 'Cause I have my AC unit serviced every year, um, and have them come out and do their 12-point inspection or, whatever it is that they do. And they tell me all the time, they're like, yeah, your AC unit should be able to last, 24/7, run 24/7 and last 20 years. But I think a lot of people don't really appreciate the power of the sun. Right, we're in the valley of the sun. The sun tears things up just by sitting there and not even being used. It just tears things up. When you've got this heat, it's like sticking something in the oven and letting it sit there. It wears it out. So AC units, like you said, I think the life expectancy is generally around 10 to 15 years, something like that, maybe 12 years or something like that. But yeah, they do get beat up pretty heavily here in Arizona.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so let's kind of go and talk about hot water heaters, because this is a big energy use as well in the house. Obviously, the AC unit in the summertime uses probably the majority of the energy, I would think.
That and the pool filter.
The pool, right? But let's talk about the hot water heater, because that's a close second, right? It's not far behind. That uses what? A lot, right? In energy?
12%, they say. Yeah. Averaging about 12%. So that's a sneaky little thing that you don't think about. You think, okay, air conditioner, pool filter, maybe washers and dryers, but the appliances are actually super, super efficient these days. They take very little energy. But yeah, that hot water heater is 12%.
Now, I'll say this too, and I want to, when we're talking about efficiency and stuff, because I saw an appraisal this past week, excuse me, that they took a picture of the hot water heater. And this house didn't have much storage in it. And so they used the closet for the hot water heater as storage. And they packed a bunch of stuff around this hot water heater. And I thought to myself, that's an accident waiting to happen. And it's probably not very good for the efficiency of the hot water heater either. I didn't know if it was, electric or gas or, whatever it was. But man, oh man, they had like comforters stuffed around it. They had some boxes stacked on top of it. It's like, man, this thing is not going to breathe. Not that it needs to breathe; it's a living thing. But there's no air circulating around it.
Absolutely. And there, you really shouldn't be putting, and I see it all the time. People will say, oh, I have a storage closet. I'm like, no, that's where your hot water heater is. It's not a storage closet. You should leave it be. That's there for a reason. It's set up that way, depending on you have a gas system or an electrical system. Yeah, I would not, especially with the heat that we have here, do not make that appliance any hotter than it needs to be.
I mean, this thing's good. I'm always thinking they can explode like a missile and just shoot right off the top of your roof. But now, having said that, if they went to a tankless system, that would free up quite a bit of room in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, especially the newer homes, will opt for the tankless hot water heaters because it's like hot water on demand, and it's a like little box on the wall, and you really have to talk to a licensed plumber to see whether your home can be either retrofitted for it, or if it, if it was built that way, it's simple to replace it. But like in my house, it might be a little bit more difficult. Sometimes it's sort of like the soft water loops. Some of the homes don't even have those, for the reverse osmosis systems and stuff like that. Like my house was built without a soft water loop. So you always want to double check to make sure it makes sense for you to have the tankless hot water heater as an option versus the standard, upright hot water heater.
Right. Now, is there any statistics on how more efficient they are?
It varies greatly, and you can go on all sorts of websites like Energy Star, and they'll give you the makes and models of each system. Because again, I don't want to make a general statement, because one, if you go the cheap route, might not be as efficient as obviously the more expensive. It's no different than like a refrigerator or an air. Remember the old window air conditioners? Used to run. They used to be such a big. Now they have them where they basically use next to nothing. So I think you just got to do your research. You just got to know you got to trust your contractor, your plumber, your HVAC guy, to say, look, this is my budget. This is what I want to achieve. And everybody has different needs and wants. Some people want to be as green as possible, the most energy efficient as possible, and they're willing to pay. Other people just want to make sure, look, I got to put a new in, I want to follow the law, but I can't spend, 20% more. What works in this price range for me? So again, it's, you have to look at the rating, and it comes with a tag, and it'll tell you all, the energy efficiencies on it. So it really depends on each individual system.
And this is, why I tell my buyers, and I'm sure you do the same, that I really advise them to walk around with the home inspector when doing the home inspection. I know it may be during the middle of the day or something like that, but a lot of times they'll work around people's schedules, because then you can really talk to an expert who sees these things day in and day out. And it's not me, the lender, or you, the realtor. It's actually coming from somebody who is a little more intimately knowledgeable about these appliances and the life expectancy, and they see old ones, they see new ones. I know when I bought my house, I did the walk around on it, or walk through with the home inspector on it, and I was on his hip like a gnat or something. But he pointed out on my dishwasher, which was the original with the house, and it was about 10 years old when I purchased the home, that it was beat up. Believe me. I mean, with the hard water that we have here in Arizona, it made the unit just very inefficient. It was kind of stained on the inside and everything. Yep. So I ended up replacing the dishwasher with a new one. And as they were pulling it out, the wires were melted underneath. They were, and the home inspector didn't see it, because it's behind the unit or whatever, up against the wall.
Visual inspection, what they can see. Yeah.
They only do what they can see, right? But he's like, hey, this should be replaced. You can just tell by looking at the inside of this thing, it needs to be replaced. And I thought maybe just putting some, CLR or something in it would fix it, But no, he was absolutely right. I took it out. The wires had melted, and it was a fire hazard. I looked at my wife's like, holy cow, this house could have burnt down. So if you can, definitely, I recommend getting the home inspection, number one, even on a property that looks like, like brand new. If it is a brand new home,
with a new build as well, if you want to. You can have someone else go beside the builder, who would automatically do it for you. But you can always bring an independent third party in there.
Absolutely, I did the walkthrough with when I bought a new home with the not the general contractor, but whoever the guy is. I don't know what the title he has, but the guy who kind of foresees all the subcontractors that build the home, and he works for the builder. He actually did a walkthrough with me, and he allowed me to come in during the framing stage and different stages of the home. So that was pretty cool. But on an existing home, definitely recommend getting a home inspection.
Absolutely. Can't stress that enough. And, what I always do is I strongly encourage, and thank God most of my clients have come with me, and during the home inspection, and we wouldn't stay for like the whole 2 hours, but we show up at the end sometimes, or we would know when he's going to do like the air conditioning, that part, or it depends on really people's schedule, but I would always get to the house regardless, even if you're not going to be there for the full 2 hours that it's going on, but to go there and meet the inspector, and then ask him to point out, or her, ask to see each area and say, okay, what does this mean? Okay, show me where the air conditioner is. Show me where the main water valve shutoff is. Because not only is it important to know what is going to be in the report, but if you're going to buy that home, you're going to want to know where the safety, systems are. Most people don't know where their main shutoff is. And then all of a sudden they get a leak and they're like, oh my God, where is it? And they can't shut the water in the house. And of course, when you're frantic, you don't see things that are right in front of your face most of the time. It's happened to me, where when I first moved here, I didn't even know where the electrical box is, because coming from the East Coast, we always had them inside the house. And I'm like, where is the electrical box? I'm running around. I'm like, okay, Tracy, you should know better. Did you remember from the home inspection it was on the outside of the house?
But you're right. You get in a little bit of a panic mode and you're like, oh my gosh, where are things at? So yeah, no, it's a good observation. Good point there. So I know that there are some websites that people can go to. So when they're looking to purchase a home, there's a couple websites that people can go to. I think you mentioned one just a minute ago.
Yep, Energy Star is really helpful. EnergyStar.gov is really, really good. And there is also another, I basically go to Energy Star for everything, because you can look by different products like water heaters, air conditioners, refrigerators, washer dryers. And because it's a government site, it's not being, set up by the manufacturer of one of those units, because you can go to all different, like, for example, if you want to go to Train or Ream or any one of the manufacturers of these products we're discussing, they are also going to provide all their information. But if you want something that's kind of just point blank, it's not favoring saying our product is better than another, I think Energy Star is one of the best. And then there's DSIREUSA.org, and that's desireusa.org. And that really talks about something that's really cool there is it tells you what kind of credits you can get, financial incentives for green improvements to your home. So it's not just about what your SEER rating is and what Energy Star says, but also if you're thinking about doing more green improvements, say you just want to, your hot water tank is 12 years old and you've been having trouble with it. You're like, okay, I'm going to put the new one in here, but I want to know, am I going to get any incentives if I do this or versus that? And it's very helpful. And again, it's a nonprofit that runs that. So just be careful about what you find on the internet, because a lot of it could be somewhat political, because some of these things could be controversial. Not everyone agrees with these regulations. There's even some talk that there is some litigation about what's going on with these the legislation. But right now we are going to proceed as, let's just do what we need to do, because not following the rules will create more problems, and it only hurts you when you're trying to either sell your home, and when you're buying your home, you want to just make sure you're getting what you pay for. You're not buying this house, you think it's brand new, and there is an old, it's been sitting around 2 years in the warehouse, it's an old system, and you think you're getting everything that's new, and you're not. So yeah. Definitely be careful.
Absolutely. Those are great websites, great resources. The other great resource is you, right? So reach out to Tracey, call her, visit her website. She'd be more than happy to talk to you about, she's very knowledgeable about these, I don't want to say green homes, but you have your green designation, right? So what to look out for, kind of what's happening, what the trends are, what's what's good investment for the home, what's not a good investment for the home. If I needed, I'm going to be calling you, right? So
thank you, Jason. And my whole point is, I'm not an inspector, an HVAC contractor, but what I can do is share information and also send you to people that I trust, to help you out when you're purchasing your home. Not just because, I have a green designation. I've, spent a lot of time studying for that and learning the different rules and regulations. But in the end, you really want those people that are the licensed contractors, the home inspectors, to really give you an opinion on the lifespan, what that actual unit is, and what does that mean to you. Because one of the things, and Jason, you mentioned earlier about these hot water heaters being in closets. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem now, because one of the things I wanted to talk about was the new units are 2 inches taller and 2 inches wider than the old hot water heaters.
Good point. Okay.
So you know what? When you have it in a closet, the closet is what it is, right? Right. And a lot of times they're in older homes and closets, or they're in condos or townhomes, because everybody wants to make everything very efficient in size and give you more square footage to live in. But the problem is that some of those new water heaters, they're not going to fit in that location. And right. Again, that's something you definitely want to talk to during the inspection period with your home inspector and say, okay, this is at its end of its life. And you notice you have, 2 feet. Yeah. The space all around. Will the new units fit in there? Otherwise you're going to be stuck with a home where you're going to have to replumb that, and you're going to have that cost as the buyer. So again, really talk to your home inspector and work with, your realtor, whether it's myself or another realtor, but definitely, ask those questions, because that's something that could be extremely cost prohibitive.
Yep. Absolutely. No, very good point. Very good point. All right. Well, I think we covered just about everything. What do you think?
Yeah, just one last thing with the SEER ratings. I think one of the things we didn't talk about was what the rating actually is. It used to be 13 was the SEER rating that was approved, but in Arizona we now are at 14 SEER. So again, ask your home inspector, is it a 13 or 14 SEER unit? And again, those SEER changes happened effective January 1st. The remaining inventory that is the old stuff can still be sold, but once it's done, there's nothing else being manufactured that is the old rating. Same thing with the hot water heater. It's not illegal to have an old system put in. If you want to, because a lot of people are going to run out and say, oh, let me go buy them because they're cheaper. But really, when you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Because in the end, you're hoping the energy efficiency is going to kind of mitigate some of the upfront cost. And you know what? If you were to sell your house, it's just going to make it easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. 100%. Well, this is great information. Hopefully everyone got some good information out of this. I know I did. I learned a lot. So I really appreciate and value your insight on this, Tracey. You are the person I would go to for this stuff and for real estate needs. So Definitely. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Tell everybody once again how to get a hold of you, and then I'll do the same, and then we'll wrap this up.
Well, thanks again, Jason. And definitely go to Jason if you're looking for a mortgage person. He's excellent. You can reach me at 480-599-7746. Again, I am Tracey Swift, and it's Tracey, Tracey .SWIFT at azmoves.com. Swiftly said 38 on Twitter. Phoenix Fun, PHX, the abbreviation of fun, as my community page on Facebook, and Tracey Swift at cbintouch.com. Sorry, Tracey.swift at cbintouch.com. I always forget that dot in the middle, but yeah, it's kind of a long website. Not something I wanted to choose, but my company, that's what they gave us. So.
It's no longer than mine, right? So mine
Yeah.
is www.valleyofthesunrealestateteshow.com, and you can connect with me anywhere there. You can reach out to me, call me, whatever floats your boat. I'm here for you. So I'd love to hear from you. So thank you once again for listening to the show, and I hope to see you out there shopping for a home soon. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.